Hello my friends, and welcome back to another speed build on my channel, and welcome to another tiny build on my channel. This is the tiny bridge house. Now, it is a tiny house, but I ended up building it on a 50 by 50 lot. This is a 50 by 50 lot in the world of Granite Falls, which came with the Outdoor Retreat expansion pack. So it's kind of defeating the object of being a tiny house. Not really, because the house itself is a maximum of 64 tiles. It will fit 2 Sims in there quite easily. I got heavily inspired by my darling friend Harry. She built a beautiful micro home called the Waterfall micro home. I will leave a link down below in the description box to that house in question. Please go and give her a follow, because she is not only one of my favorite builders, but she is just a bloody lovely person. So I implore you guys to go over and give her a follow, because she is such an amazing builder, one of my favorites, and this was heavily inspired from her build. But also I've been watching lots of kind of architectural programs on YouTube and whatnot, and there was one of these bridge houses that really stuck in my head, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build a bridge house and put it in probably my favorite lot to build on. I have probably lost count how many times I've built on this lot. I just enjoy the environment around it. It's one of my favorites. Now, as I said, 2 Sims will be able to fit in here very comfortably. It comprises of a kitchen, dining area with a living room area, a back area of a balcony that has the most amazing view of the waterfalls throughout the back of the house, and also a bedroom snugly fit for 2 Sims. Now, there is no CC in this lot. These micro houses, I won't be using any CC in them, so you guys can just easily put them into your game using the expansion packs provided by the Sims 4 team. Excuse me, I've just drunk like loads of orange juice and I keep getting a frog in my throat, so if I keep coughing, I'm very sorry. The funny thing is, as I'm speaking now, I had a cancellation in my workplace, so I had a 3-hour gap, and because I'm self-employed, I was like, I'm going to go home and record this voiceover and then go back to work afterwards. So this is kind of me on my lunch break from work, a long lunch break, 3 hours to be exact. So happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're having a good start to the weekend. I've still got work tomorrow, so it's not the start of a weekend for me. And also, I will be bringing the last of the micro build kind of mini series out. Probably it's going to either come on Sunday, but more is probably going to be coming on Monday instead. And that one there will be a family home. I'm going to try and do a family of 4 home using the maximum tile for the maximum limit in the tiny house category. I've been having so much fun doing these tiny homes. I'm definitely going to be keeping it in the channel. I'm going to be chucking out a tiny home here and there. But using my kind of style, I really like my kind of tiny houses to look semi-realistic, or as realistic as they possibly can do in The Sims 4. So that is where we went with it. And I love the idea of a bridge house. I love the idea of having a house where the water runs underneath of it. I don't know what that is, but I would like it. I want one, and I will get one. I'm using a lot of this grass. I can't remember where this grass comes from. I think it's something really weird, like Parenthood. I think it first came with Get Together, but they recolored it for other packs. And the Parenthood pack has just got the best tone of the green. You can see the one that I used. It's just a bit more of a muted green, and I enjoy that. Now, what I'm doing here is obviously hiding all of the edges of the pool area with these rocks. These are all from debug, so I use a whole lot of materials and building stuff from the debug menu. So if you do come to download this lot, make sure that you know how to use the debug menu. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube for you to get access to this stuff, so go and give them a cheeky watch, because I just get so many people ask me, oh, where's this from? I don't know where this is. Whereabouts in the debug menu is this? I'm like, I have no idea where that is in the debug menu. I have no idea at all. You're just going to have to do what I do and hunt down the pieces that will make this build come to life, my friends. Now, I did have 2 entrances to this one. I had one entrance on the left and one on the right. But in the end, I actually get rid of the right-hand entrance. Main reasons being it was kind of limiting the space of the bedroom. And the bedroom was the smallest spot, which was really hard to furnish. And I ended up having to push the bed up towards the window. Main reasons being I wanted the bed to take in all of the views, because where I was putting the bed, where it would have worked quite comfortably, it just wasn't getting the views of the surrounding area very well, and it was kind of blocking up the window. So if you do have 2 Sims in this household, you will need to you can now assign the sides of the bed to each Sim. So your Sim who sleeps on the right-hand side will get in first and kind of scoot over and get in the bed, and then the other one will kind of get in. So just make sure you do that so they will fit in there quite comfortably. But yeah. Now I did go ahead and put this waterfall in game as well. This waterfall had come with the Island Living expansion pack. And it is also in the debug menu. It's quite difficult to find this little the waterfall, because it just looks like a blue blob. You don't really see what it is in the menu, but it comes in very handy. And this is probably the first time that I've used it properly. So I had a lot of fun kind of raising the rocks around it like I'm doing now to try and frame it in as natural as possible. And underneath as well, because the waterfall almost looks like it's landing on top of a rock before it actually falls down into the big pool. So you can see that's what I'm doing now, trying to sort of make it look very, very realistic. And yeah, I think it worked. I do think it worked. And it is a good and fun lot to play in. As always, I will always reiterate, I always player test my lots as well. So I make sure that everything works for your Sims to be able to use this lot quite comfortably indeed. The bathroom actually looks out onto the waterfall as well, and I thought it would be fun to put a big window there with a toilet, so when you're having a poo, you can happily watch a waterfall trickle down the stream in front of you as you are dropping the kids off at the pool, shall we say. Oh god. But yes, that was my thought process behind it. I had a lot of fun kind of laying the rocks around as well and making the landscape look as natural as possible. I love landscaping to make it look very realistic and natural, and this lot was just perfect for that. It really was, and it kind of melts into the surrounding areas as well, which is cool. Very cool. I enjoyed it. Inside, the actual interior throughout the whole house, I really wanted it to look very natural, so I used lots of natural colours. I had a colour palette in mind of sort of grey stones, dark sort of charcoal grey blacks to kind of match in with the stones, some sandier sort of like soil tones with some wood tones in there as well, and lots of greenery. So I used plants, and I end up I'll show you that when we get into the inside. I end up kind of sizing down ferns and putting them inside plant pots just to try and change up the plants a little bit. I'm a bit bored of all the decorations and stuff in The Sims 4, hence why I'm using a lot more CC than I ever used to. I just find that CC or custom content, if nobody knows what CC means, it fits my aesthetic a lot more than what the Sims team's objects do. So that is the main reason why I love playing around with CC. I absolutely love it. And I know there's a few people out there that kind of turn their nose up to it. I have no idea why. I will always find that very, very strange. But yeah, that's the way but I did not want to put CC in this house, because this series would be cool just keeping it with the expansion pack. So for you guys, it will be very nice to be able to put into your game. But I definitely want to do a tiny CC build. That is on the cards as well. Next week, we're going to be hitting back with Let's Build Newcrest as well. So that series will be coming back in. I'm really looking forward to bringing that one back in. I've got a few ideas. We're going to be doing a commercial lot next week. So I'm unsure on what yet. I've got a choice between 3. So you will know in next week sometime. I'm unsure what day it will be out, but those episodes will be coming next week. And obviously along with the other tiny build, either Sunday or Monday. So I'm going to be busy, but I am very inspired at the minute. And I think this pack has done it for me. It's inspired me to think outside the box and build these tiny homes that do have a little bit of realism kind of chucked in there. But yeah, one good thing about this lot, because this house, because it is just full of windows. It's got the best lighting in there. It's got skylights as well in each room, including over the bathroom. I end up using the glass tile sort of roof decoration from Island Living, which is like a 2x2 sort of glass panel that goes on the roof. And that was the size of the bathroom. So the bathroom has just got this huge glass roof above the shower. And obviously, as I said before, watching the waterfall while you have a poop, it's very, very nice indeed. So in my head, this would the land would probably be very private, so nobody would come and see you taking a... Yes, I'm not going to say poo for the 20th time in one video, but I just did. So there we are. We'll leave it just that. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. Again, using the trees around the landscape, especially on this lot. But in my head, I still wanted this lot to be able to fit quite comfortably on the 50 by 50 lot in Windenburg. I think it will fit there quite nicely. Or I think is there a 50 by 50 lot in Windenburg? It might be a 64 by 64 lot, but then you could just play around with the landscaping and make it fit into that lot a bit better. That was my thought process behind it, but this is definitely the lot where this house was built for in my head. I've enjoyed building houses for a particular lot in question. It's nice. Anyway, my darlings, we're on to the interiors. So I end up going for the Moschino black sofa set, and what I do is kind of overlay them with the coffee table from the same game pack. And I just thought they made this really nice, I don't know, it just looked really nice, kind of like laid side by side to each other. And I really wanted this lot, even though it is quite small, to have a real flow through. So it is quite a wide space all the way through to the bedroom, just to open up the space and stop it from looking too tight. That was my reasonings behind it, and it worked quite nicely. It really did. And that, as I said before, I was sizing up ferns to make new plants and stuff, and I just think that looks really cool in there. I think that fern came with the outdoor retreat pack as well. Now, with these shelves, I was fuming with them because I thought, oh, put shelves up there and then we'll go ahead and put up some books, because the books now act as a bookcase. Your Sims can now grab a book from the bookcase, from the book pile even, sorry. And the books still don't snap to any shelves. I just don't understand why they haven't sorted this. I don't understand why they haven't made things fit on the shelves that could easily fit on the shelves. Like this little pile of books, for example, does not want to fit on the shelf, so I had to use move objects on them. But your Sims do actually use them quite easily, so it's fine. They work. Your Sims can use the books, but I just wanted to vent a little bit of that because that makes me so angry. So angry. I don't know why they haven't fixed that in game yet. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Having all of these shelves and very limited objects that actually fit on top of them. Yeah, something very overlooked by the dev team, I think. I think they need to get that sorted personally. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'd be very interested to know what you guys think about that as well. I do. So, I was thinking about I like thinking realistically. So my head was like, oh, this is going to need some kind of, not foundation, but some kind of support system underneath this house, because it looks like it's just floating on the water. And I found these little art, I think they are base games. They're base game from Debug. And what I did is kind of layer them up underneath the actual build itself. It was very difficult. It was really fiddly to try and get this like just right. But it looks like the house is actually supported down into the ground properly then. So it just adds a little bit of realistic. And I end up putting up some, are they called corbels? The little like sort of bracket things that you put under roof lines. I end up putting some of them on as well underneath, just to really solidify the fact that this is supposed to be a very well-built house. And yeah, it worked. It definitely worked. It needed something underneath it there, and that's probably why I flicked from interiors to exterior, because I noticed it in my eye. I was just like, it looks like it's just weirdly floating. It needs something in there. So that's what we went ahead and did. Kitchen wise, I would have preferred a different layout. It works very well. But I really wanted a breakfast bar somewhere. But I also wanted a desk in here. And the desk was more important for me. My reasons being the Sim that probably lives in here is a photographer or something, and he needs a space to edit his photos, and that was my head with this build in particular. So I ended up facing the desk here and then squeezing a trash can into that little gap there, which works perfectly as well. And then putting a little breakfast bar area over here using the new table from the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. It really worked. Really did indeed. This is the bedroom. So this is the bedroom area. This was where I struggled with the layout of it, but this was the perfect layout for me. And I really enjoy the colours used in here. I haven't used this base game dresser in a long time, but what I did is kind of put it in that stone sort of colour and fit it against the window. Main reasons being using that one, it was the slimmest out of the lot of them. It was the slimmest out of all of them, and that was where we went with it, my darlings. And this, my dears, is the bathroom. So I wanted a full stone bathroom, so I use a different wallpaper in here along with the concrete floor. We use that shower, that standalone one tile shower, which is from the University expansion pack, and the sink, which is from Island Living. I just pushed that sink right into the wall just so it looks like it's kind of hanging on the wall, and it's usable as well. Your sim can use it. And I don't know, just love this bathroom. It's really simple. It was really simple. I love the little coppery elements in there along with the stones. I would have preferred some more plants in here, and I probably could have fit some more on some shelves somewhere, but I didn't want to cramp up the space too much. I still wanted this bathroom to feel as big as what it could be, especially with the skylight and stuff in question. And yeah, this is the outdoor little balcony area. I ended up just putting a yoga mat, which is usable by the way, and a little chair just pushed into the corner so they can come here and sit on it and watch the waterfall, listen to the sound of the river and do a bit of yoga. I also end up getting rid of that planter box because the colour of it wasn't fitting very well with the build itself. But yeah, that is it, my darlings. I am going to be seeing you on Sunday or Monday, probably Monday. And yeah, we'll be back building live with some Let's Builds next week as well. But yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.